just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle. I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Yo, 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 how you living, how you feeling, how you doing? This is First Choice Fantasy, and we are back today with our Week 5 betting selections of the NFL season. We have two teams on a bye with the Lions and the Packers this week. We also have, two games in question right now with the Bills and the Titans.
Silly gooses.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen.
Supposedly the Broncos Patriots.
Yeah, that too.
But I don't think that game's in question really. They're just not letting us bet on it for it now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then again, I was making a comment to X. Are they really going to let the Patriots play without literally their best two players? Questionable.
That would be suspicious.
It would be suspicious. Speaking of betting and whatnot, Week 4 records are up there on the whiteboard, as well as year-to-date records of us three. We're succeeding partially as a group. I mean, we're not hitting below 50%. What was yours? His was 35 of 63. So that's, it's above half. We're all above 50%, so we're in the, 50th percentile, some shit like that. So we're vibing, we're living, you know.
I did not come through on my promise to be much better last week from Week 3, but it's alright. I'm going to try again this week. Not feeling great about it, though. Some tough picks ahead.
Yeah. The only positive from last week for me was hitting that fucking parlay, though.
Oh, yeah, explain it.
Hit a $100 parlay on, what was the teams? I think it was the Saints.
Line bet.
Yeah, it was the Saints, Seahawks, not Steelers, Ravens, Packers, and the Chiefs, I believe.
Yeah.
$100 for, was it like $440 payout, I believe?
$447.
Biggest hit I've ever had. I would cash out immediately.
We were going to involve the Cowboys in there. Thank God we didn't.
Yeah, that would have been
For X's sake.
major.
Did provide a spark of inspiration for that parlay, so hopefully I can do some myself in a few months here when I can finally get on FanDuel.
young bull.
Eventually, I'm getting there.
All right, we're recording this on Thursday, so we're probably going to get this out Friday morning. So the Thursday night game, we're just going to go over briefly. Obviously, we're going to be considered right or wrong tomorrow morning whenever you see this. So first game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Chicago Bears. Tampa Bay are 3.5-point favorites. Cam, you can go ahead.
The Bucs are scaring me a little bit here. Their offense is beat up. Mike Evans, he's questionable. If he plays, I think they're going to win. However, I'm not too confident in it. Nick Foles, real streaky guy, as everybody knows. I think he bounced back a little bit, facing off with his foe, so to speak, in Tom Brady. It's only a storyline thing that social media wants to make up, in my opinion. But here's what it is. Might provide a little extra motivation for him. Bears are probably going to have trouble running the ball, but I think the offensive struggles that I believe the Bucs are going to face tonight evens it out. I'm going to take the Bears plus 3.5.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stick with the Buccaneers Moneyline on this one. Like you said, the Buccaneers offense is real beat up. But I'm hoping that their defense will make up for it a little bit, stop that run game. Nick Foles, like you said, also is streaky, coming off a bad game. I can see a real low-scoring game here as well. The under is something to consider for this game as well. It's 44.5 right now.
Yeah, it's just a little bit low a number.
I think Tom Brady's going to shine a little bit more than Nick Foles here in prime time. I think a low-scoring, maybe like a 24-17 type you dig. Buccaneers win. I like the money line.
On the bright side, it's probably one of the better Thursday night football games they've rolled out for us thus far.
Yeah, we've had some real fun ones to watch.
Only on paper, though. They have provided some entertainment. That Dolphins-Jaguars game was not bad.
The Jets-Broncos one wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be either.
And then that Bengals-Browns game wasn't too bad either. 35-30, I mean. So, I guess we're just being a little biased towards the namesake. Ed, what's your thoughts on the game?
Well, obviously, like you guys said, Nick Foles is streaky and whatnot. But last week they put up 11 points against the Colts, and the Colts defense is pretty good. Buccaneers defense isn't bad. I think it's pretty good as well, obviously stopping the run and whatnot. Secondary is pretty young, so they're kind of streaky themselves as well. I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers money line is probably the bet to go with here because the spread at 3.5, I mean, it just seems too close. I'm not too sure which way to go there, so I believe in the Buccaneers. I believe in Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and that defense.
It's one of the smaller spreads of this week, actually.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, the spreads are pretty brutal.
But yeah, like Cam said, if Mike Evans does play, Buccaneers are definitely winning this one. Yeah, that's my take on it. And obviously, we'll be right or wrong, like I said, when you watch this. So, moving forward to the Sunday games at 1 o'clock. The first game is the Arizona Cardinals at the New York Jets. And the Cardinals are favored by 7 points. Actually, go ahead.
Like I said to these guys, I will never catch myself betting on the Jets. I've taken 2 L's in a row now on the Cardinals. And I said that I wouldn't bet on the Cardinals either, but now here I am in the predicament of Cardinals-Jets playing each other. Hoping for a big offensive game here from the Cardinals. I'm liking that spread. That's what I'm going with. Kenyon Drake.
Hoping for the best, preparing for the worst in this.
basically. Kenyon Drake, I think, will have a better game than he did last week. Kind of disappointed a lot of people.
Yeah.
D-Hop, I think, will have a big game as well. Kyler Murray should. I don't think this game should be close, but hell, we never really know.
It shouldn't be close, but and again, the Jets, they're going to pull one off here at some point. Joe Flacco's coming in. He might provide a spark over Darnold. We didn't really get too much of a sample last week when Darnold got hurt, but a nice veteran presence there. Quarterback might do the Jets some good. Might also bring down Jamison Crowder there. Hopefully not for my man Ed's here, but I'm gonna stick with Cardinals -7 just because it's the Jets. I really didn't want to bet on the Cardinals too much more this season because they're really cucking me, but.
Agreed.
I'm going to roll with the Cardinals -7 here just because it's the Jets. They should win by 10. That would be my prediction is winning by 10.
Yeah, I can dig that. I'll take the Cardinals spread too. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like last week it was really coaching decisions that really made them not really succeed, I guess. And obviously, like, I guess execution on the players' part. But I think it was really coaching calls and whatnot. And obviously that might not change by week, but it is the New York Jets you're playing against, a team that's known to be shitty. And D-Hop, Kenyon Drake, all the names in the Cardinals offense, I just think they'll be able to get it done. 7 points, they should be able to cover that easily in my eyes. If I were to make a lock of the week, it'd probably be the Cardinals, just because, like I said, the name's there, and I believe in them as a team, even though they haven't really proved me right these past 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm still taking the Cardinals spread.
I also didn't realize that Kyler Murray leads the league in rushing yards from all quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
In yards per game, 66.5, I think, something like that.
Yeah. Got wheels, man.
Definitely do believe it because he is very much so hurting Kenyon Drake's value.
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward to the second game, we have the Carolina Panthers at Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 1.5 point favorites. I'll take this one away. I got the Panthers Moneyline, plus 108 right now. I've really gone back and forth, much like the line has with this game. The Panthers were favored, I think, earlier in the week and whatnot. But it's really just a pick 'em, and I guess it really depends on all the news coming out with like Julio, if he's going to play and whatnot. All the other injuries that are there, they really don't know, I guess, when or if somebody's going to play, and it's really reactionary to the news and whatnot. I like the over in this. If I were to actually bet money on a bet in this game, it would be the over. But for the sake of making picks here, going with the Panthers money line because I just believe they've shown like the past few weeks, I guess the coaching is just much better than last year, obviously. Teddy Bridgewater is much better than Kyle Allen from last year as well. DJ Moore hasn't even been involved like all that much this year. And like once he does actually become involved and become like the focal point of the offense.
Which he will. I don't foresee this Robbie Sanderson outsharing him continuing too much longer.
They are using DJ Moore incorrectly though. If you guys want to find out about that, just look at I think it was a start-sit video I did with Brandon, the wide receivers. We talked about it. But once they start using him correctly, I think all things are going to fall into place and the offense is going to excel. But regardless, the offense has excelled in the past weeks, and for that reason, I think the Panthers' money line is the move here.
Valid. I'm going to go with the Falcons one more time, see if they can pull me out a win finally. I've been going with the Falcons a lot here, and that's just because I'm very high on that offense, but that offense didn't even show much last week versus the Packers. However, I don't feel as if the Panthers have the talent on defense to shut down Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage, even if Julio doesn't play. So I'm going to take the Falcons spread here, -1.5. The money line probably wouldn't be too bad either, just because of the lowness of the spread. But I like the Falcons 1.5. I think they're going to pull it out versus the Panthers. But the Panthers have been very surprising thus far, so we shall see.
Very surprising, especially playing without McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Like you said, is McCaffrey that good?
yeah.
Yes, he is that good, but that offense certainly does help.
I think
Offensive scheme, sorry. Go ahead.
kind of bouncing off like what you said about just basically this game kind of being a pick 'em. I think I'm going to go with the Panthers money line. I think this is going to be just a pretty much offensive game, not a whole lot of like defensive stops. That over, another thing you could probably smash, like you said. I think the Panthers have been a little surprising, and the Falcons have just been not playing really good football, I would say. I mean, offensively they are, but defensively on that side of the ball is just a real mystery. They just keep getting hurt. Injuries are tearing up that secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a game that even like straight up betting wise, I might even just stay away from. I'm not sure, but Moneyline Panthers, I think, is what I'm going to go with here.
All right. Moving forward, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 12.5 points. Again, good.
This one's a little bit more difficult than what people may see it as straight up. That's if you're trying to go with the spread. 12.5 might be a little bit too much for this game. The Ravens defense have shown that they can be vulnerable at times. Mixon shown he's still a playmaker last week. I'm going to take the Bengals spread here, plus 12.5. I don't think they win this game, but I do think they keep it close. Joe Burrow's been playing some good football. They have the wide receivers out there for him, and if Mixon can produce anything similar to last week, receiving touchdown, maybe even a rushing touchdown as well, which be a little hard against that Ravens defense, but again, they've shown they're vulnerable at times. So I'm going to take the Bengals spread here.
All right. I'll take this one. I like the Bengals spread as well. The thing, I personally have been bouncing back and forth, honestly, between the Bengals and the Ravens spread. Yesterday, and I think the day before, I was like all in on the Ravens, but initially I like the Bengals spread because the spread last week, I believe, with the Ravens and the Redskins, or Washington football team, yeah. I think that was at -13 for the Ravens. So I mean, I kind of,
yeah.
it's kind of like saying like the Bengals and the Washington football team are on the same level, but I don't think they are. But you got to take it into context too, because I mean, like matchup situationally wise, like the Ravens have stopped the Bengals lately. And
Also, weren't was it the football team home?
possibly, yeah.
Yes.
So
Possibly,
that
yeah.
probably went into the line as well.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? The Bengals, Ravens. I seen a report that Lamar Jackson has been practicing and whatnot. Obviously, people
2
aren't
days in a
really.
row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row. So it's like it
Practice
scares
Tuesday.
me.
It's a little spooky,
No,
but
it's not practicing today.
Oh.
yeah.
It's spooky. That's like. Obviously, I don't want to react too much to it because some people take breaks. It's normal, but like, I don't. I can see them trying to limit his work, I guess, personally. Like, if they get that big lead, which I think they're going to get, I can see RG3 coming in like he did against Washington and throwing a pick, and then that kind of like crushes the line. So, for that purpose, I want to play it safe, kind of. Go with the Bengals spread, but the easy lock here would obviously be the Ravens money line, but I'm going with the Bengals spread.
A knee issue just is not a good omen moving forward for Lamar Jackson type quarterback. So something to definitely keep an eye on.
he hasn't even really been playing to, I'd say, his full potential this year so far,
Yeah,
especially in the passing game.
Yeah, he's struggled in the passing game a lot, which is a concern.
It is a bit of a concern. But I mean, the Bengals defense, comparing to that Ravens offense, I still don't think there's a lot of comparison there. That Ravens offense is still good. They have a lot of weapons. Even with I guess, I don't even know if Lamar is going to be questionable or whatever coming into this game, or what his injury designation will be.
Yeah.
I still think the Ravens will win this game. The money line is the safe pick. I'm going to throw that in that. Do another little 5-6 team parlay like we did last week. The Ravens are going to be a lock for in there. That Bengals spread, like you guys have been talking about, is nice. I can see this also being a low-scoring game as well. I'm not sure.
Well, that's just corny because you literally just picked the easiest money line
Yeah,
of the whole damn
yeah.
freaking week. But whatever, I'll give it to you. You can have your easy one.
Who's winning money? Who's not?
Yeah, but for video's sake, gotta be entertaining sometimes.
I didn't say that the Ravens should not be involved in that freaking thing, in that parlay, because they should be.
Yeah, it's easy winning.
They are in every parlay I've suggested to you. So definitely not for actual betting purposes, but yeah, just the safest pick there.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward, we have the Jacksville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. The Texans are 6.5 point favorites. I'll kick this one off. I took the Texans spread 6.5. Fired Bill O'Brien and whatnot, so maybe the players just like, I don't know, have a sense of togetherness.
Unity.
I don't know. Unity.
Togetherness.
Yeah, I think that they came together obviously to get Bill O'Brien fired. It seemed. I mean, the reports said they did, but I think the offense should look better than it did the past couple weeks, especially against the Jaguars defense, which pretty poopy. The Jaguars look pretty abysmal against the Dolphins as well. Obviously, it was without DJ Chark, but I still think that the Texans' defense it's a decent defense. It's not a bad defense, not a great defense, and for that purpose, I mean, Texans' offense I think will go off. Should be a decently scoring game. I don't know about the line at 54.5 though. Might take the under. It's a little too high for me. But yeah, the Texans spread I think is a pretty good one.
Yeah, the over is a little risky for the Jaguars. They can just get shut down out of nowhere. To go along with the overall vibe in the locker room, I would say definitely a sense of urgency is probably going on in there. I mean, they're 0-4. They just got their old coach out of there, so they're going to be trying to prove people wrong that it was all his fault. The Jags, they're just happy to be in the games that they have been, probably. I mean, they've been expected to be the worst team in the league, and they've hung in there with some solid games, and they're definitely putting up the offensive points. Their defense is just holding them back, and I think that's going to continue this week. I'm going to take the Texans Moneyline -280. So it's a little bit on the safer side, but that spread I did not like. 6.5, right? 6.5. Yeah, it's just a little bit too iffy for a Jags team that has definitely been hanging in there.
Yeah, talk about streaky. The Jags are streaky for sure.
Yeah, Minshew's he's a little Foles type guy.
What do you guys think of the Jags spread though?
Oh no. I probably, if I were to bet, I guess, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I don't know. I'm not going to bet on a streaky team like that.
I don't know. The Jags are just one of these teams this week that I feel like could squeak out a win, especially against the Texans. I don't know. This is like, with the whole coaching change, that's going to be obviously a lot of effects on how the team's going to be run and how it's going to operate.
It could be a huge negative,
Like game plan wise,
just as much as it can be a positive.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I think
It's going to definitely be hard to make a judgment on it since this is the first game without Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
It'll be really good to see how they play.
I mean, supposedly he wasn't even doing
forward.
the play calling, so it's not like he had much influence. It's just a cloud looming over the players' eyes.
So hopefully there'll be a more positive vibe going in.
Yeah, I hope he's doing the play calling, because that shit's been a little brutal too.
That's true, yeah.
The run game has been poop.
That takes me away a little bit, but whatever, I'm going to stick with
They're still trying to figure out that passing game. Will Fuller's been doing decent. I was going into this, going with the Jags money line. I'm kind of flip-flopping here, so I might go with the Texans spread now. Just because I like what you guys are saying about the whole positive vibe.
Yeah.
We like those positive vibes. I think they're going to go into this game a little bit more cheerful, a little bit more pep in their step.
Yeah.
It's at home too, so no more fans wearing bags on their heads. Saw that in the stands last game.
I mean, they're still 0-4, but yeah, possibly.
So I think I'm going to have to change my pick here to the Texans spread, I think, is what we're going to go with here.
Yeah. I think the Texans got to win eventually, and they're
They
probably
gotta
going to win
win.
this week. Hopefully by
If they start off
7
0-5,
points.
that's just not expected whatsoever.
At all.
I just think they need to get a better wide receiver next to Will Fuller. It takes away those monstrous games that Will Fuller's capable of. His defenses are keying in on him now, and Brandon Cooks is not helping like the plan was. So I think that'll be a focus for them moving forward next offseason. But as of right now, stick with what you got.
Imagine having DeAndre Hopkins in that offense.
Imagine.
That'd be insane.
That shit would be
Imagine
crazy.
trading away DeAndre Hopkins. Couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me. That'd be a Bob thing to do. All right. Moving forward to the next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 12 points. I don't really like this spread, so I'm going to kick it off to somebody else to talk about it.
Raiders did me good with a nice upset week 2 versus the Saints. I went against the Raiders the next 2 weeks. They did me good by losing. I think they're going to do me good again. I'm going to take the Raiders plus 12.5. The spread is just a little bit too much for me. I think they're going to hang in there with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have shown they can play down to their opponent, or it might not be playing down to their opponent. It might just be coaching schemes do have the ability to change what they're able to do. So I like John Gruden as a coach. I think he's a great coach. That Derek Carr is just he's not it. They need to get someone in there for him in the future. Marcus Mariota, though, this year I don't think he would provide much of a difference. But for this game, I'm going to take the Raiders plus 12.5. I think they hang in there. I don't really see them pulling off an upset, but then again, the Patriots almost made a run with Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham out there at quarterback. So it's a little possible, but I think the 12.5 is a solid bet.
Yeah.
I think this Chiefs defense has really improved this year. I'm liking that Moneylines, but I think I'm gonna go with last week against the they did against the Patriots.
Year,
That first half was real spooky. They took it away a bit in the second half. The Chiefs. They played down, I think, to the Chargers. I feel like divisional games are closer that the Chiefs play.
You would
Sometimes.
think, but
You would
I
think.
did notice this whenever I made the bet.
Yeah, this is not good.
This is very
What's
bad.
that?
That's the
Last year?
No, that is not good.
When Josh Jacobs was excelling and doing great. The running game was amazing last year. Offensive line was blocking well. This year, the offensive line for Josh Jacobs has not been as stout as it was last year. Chiefs beat the Raiders in the second meeting last year, 40-9, 31 points, and then they beat them by 18 points in their first meeting of last year. Obviously, the Raiders looked better this year, but I mean, not much has really changed, in all honesty, on both sides. So I'm personally taking the Chiefs money line, just for a safe bet.
The Chiefs have a lot more weapons offensively.
Oh yeah, and they have a better quarterback, obviously, by a shit ton. So
The Chiefs should win this game.
oh, 100%, they're going to win the game. Yeah, I'll bet my life savings on that.
Questionable.
Questionable, yeah, my life savings are not much, obviously.
Oh, stop that.
He looks like he wants to swap. You gonna swap?
Swap?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, but if I wanted to just show you guys a fake overall record that makes me the best bettor overall, then I would, but I'm going to stick with my gut here.
All right, that's valid. All right, moving forward to next to last game of the 1 o'clock slate, we have Los Angeles Rams, the 7.5 point favorites going into Washington. X, you go ahead.
Last week the Rams didn't fulfill that spread against the Giants that I took. It was a little bigger than 7.5, but I'm gonna stick with the spread this week. With Kyle Allen at quarterback, I think he's gonna get a little bit used and abused by Aaron Donald.
Used and abused.
And Jalen Ramsey will hopefully, who knows? Terry McLaurin snapped last week against the Ravens too, so he might go off against this week too.
Appears to
Don't
be
quite see it happening.
Little matchup proof, but yeah, I don't see it versus Ramsey.
The Rams should handle this game. That game against the Giants was a little closer than I liked it to be. I don't think this game should be close. Rams spread. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm going Rams spread too. Minus 7.5. I was a little bit iffy on it. I did want to go the Rams money line at first because I don't think there's a question around whether or not they're going to win this game with any quarterback on the Redskins roster, not necessarily Kyle Allen. But I'm going to take the Rams spread. Their offense should bounce back a little bit. They struggled last week, weirdly, strangely enough, against the Giants defense. They keep on going back and forth their running back. I think they would do well if they would just stick with one. But we'll see what they do here this week. They probably won't be much of a factor anyway against that Washington defensive line. So you could probably expect at least 9 carries for 45 yards from someone. But I think Jared Goff airs it out a bit against a sketchy Washington secondary, and they cover. Should win by...
I'd say like at least 10, maybe.
I'm going to say they win by 13.
Respectable.
As far as my pick, as they were just speaking, I switched it a couple times, but I went back to my original pick of the Rams spread. Obviously, like Cam said, the Washington football team's rushing defense is pretty solid, pretty stout. And the Rams don't really have a rushing game. I mean, if they stay consistent, they would, but it's kind of here and there. It's really streaky. And for that purpose, I was leaning towards the spread, or I was leaning towards the money line. But I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about the pass rush Washington has. That also may be a factor on the Rams. But the thing is here, with Woods and Kupp, they're both, I think they're averaging maybe 6 yards per target. Like, not efficiency-wise, but like each target is going 6 yards. Like the average distance of the target is going 6 yards. So that like shows McVay's pretty good at scheming up. Like because of the fact that the Rams' offensive line is bad. Jared Goff doesn't have much time to air the ball out deep, so he's getting the short passes in there. Offense is excelling pretty well this year, and I think Washington football team's offense is also pretty bad. Kyle Allen is also trash. Shouldn't be a starting quarterback anywhere. Should be in like the AFL if anything. And so Rams spread. That's what I'm taking.
The under could be a possibility for this game as well.
Allen will probably go 2 to 3 interceptions.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully.
At least one. I don't foresee him getting through a clean game.
Yeah.
Very surprising if so.
All right, moving forward to the final 1 o'clock game, we have the Eagles against the Steelers. The Steelers are 7-point favorites. 2 Eagles fans in the room, by the way, us two, and a Steelers fan over here. Trashy ass. Steelers fan can take it away first.
Well, the Steelers are going to come in here, stomp the shit out of the Eagles, win about 56-0.
Okay.
Like the 27 Eagles did to the Steelers last time we faced you guys.
When?
2017, Carson Wentz rookie year, 31-3.
Yeah, terrible.
That's when Carson Wentz was a decent football player.
Go ahead.
Anyway, back to reality here. I'm going to go with the Steelers money line.
Are you scared? Okay.
Are you scared?
No, you scared.
Oh, you pussy.
Only because all the Steelers games this year have been close, mainly. So, the Eagles spread.
They haven't beaten anybody which is surprising.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of sticking away from the spreads.
Guess what their opponent's record are of the teams they've beaten? 1-11.
Well, look at the Eagles' record.
It's just as many teams as the other 3 teams. 3 teams appears to have better odds to get more wins than 1, but
the Eagles are not getting a win this week against the Steelers. That defense will reign supreme yet again, proving as the best defense in the league.
Let's go to the polar opposite end of the field.
I hope so. I was able to snag the Steelers off waivers this week. So I'm planning on them having a good game. I don't see a ton of points being scored in this game. I think Jalen Mills hopping over at cornerback is going to help Darius Slay opposite of him quite a bit. It's just a matter of if the safeties back there can hold up. The defensive line is having a great game last week. I think that continues. Javon Hargrave's getting healthy. Josh Sweat's making an impact. Derek Barnett's staying out there. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham are still there, obviously, and then Malik Jackson. So when you have those younger guys making more of an impact than the older guys who are going to be there every week, that matters a ton. So it's going to help them quite a bit. The only problem lies in this Eagles offense. The lack of weapons is really brutal. Zach Ertz is going to get focused in on, especially with Dallas Goedert out. I guess we're going to have Fulgham out there as our wide receiver too, huh? So whatever. Hopefully he can prove us wrong. We don't have much of a sample size on him. He did make a big play last week, but the Eagles wide receivers only accounted for 4 catches. 4 catches. John Hightower had a big one on the 4th down, and Fulgham had that big catch. That was outside of Greg Ward, though. Greg Ward did, I want to say 5 balls. But Greg Ward, he's going to be there anyways, even if Deshaun Jackson and Alshon do come back. So he's a consistent factor in that offense. I'm going to take the Eagles spread +7. I think it's going to be a closer game. I wouldn't be entirely shocked to see the Steelers choke it or the Eagles win it, but I'm going to stick with the spread. It'll probably be a closer game, even if the Steelers do win, which is probably more on the likelier side. I think the spread's a solid bet here. I don't think the Eagles are as bad as it might have seemed during what a lot of people would see as our preseason. I mean, just like every other team in the NFL, we can't make excuses, but as close as a preseason as you can get.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers money line just to be more realistic. I'm an Eagles fan, like I said, but I understand the spread, the Eagles spread pick, because that actually does make sense, and I was debating on flipping it, but I'm just going to stay consistent with my pick. Take the Steelers money line. The defense pretty solid. Foldgam, or whatever the fuck his name is, was the wide receiver last week. We somehow succeeded and beat the 49ers, but I think the Steelers defense is on another level than the 49ers defense, and I don't know. Maybe I can see Ben Roethlisberger getting shaken up here, just getting confused. The Eagles defense did look improved last week, though it was against Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard, whatever the fuck his name is.
It's just those linebackers, man. The defensive line and secondary, it's okay. The linebackers are really killing us.
I mean, the slot corners, or what's our slot corner?
Probably Maddox, right? Or is Maddox hurt?
Oh, I thought it was Roby Coleman. I'm tweaking that. I have no clue. But the slot corner hasn't succeeded lately in the past couple of weeks. So Juju might have a big game, but on the outside receivers, I don't see them having much of an impact. I like the secondary, how it's been holding up the past couple of weeks. The only thing that is the question, like you said, was the linebackers. And Steelers have Eric Ebron, which, I mean, he's a cool tight end and whatnot, but he's not going to dominate like George Kittle did last week. So for that sake, I'm kind of scared about the Steelers spread. I'm going to go with Steelers money line because I do think they beat the Eagles, but not in overwhelming fashion. Moving forward, I suppose. No?
Bet you Eric Ebron's on the waivers. Oh.
He probably is, yeah.
All Steelers tight ends are.
Who are the other Steelers tight ends?
I don't think he's going to dominate like George Kittle did last week, but they probably will try and target him, considering what Kittle just did against us. 15 targets, 15 catches, 183 yards. That is brutal. Shows a very significant weakness.
This is Alex's start this week, by the way, as well, at the tight end position. But
Brown?
Yeah. 4 o'clock slate. We got 4 o'clock games. There are only 3 4 o'clock games. First game, we have the Dolphins at the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are our 8.5 point favorites. Cam, you can take it.
This would be my lock of the week for these sketchier picks. I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 8.5.
Yes, sir.
I was very shocked at the spread makers or whatever. There's a key term for them, whatever. I was very shocked that they were given 8.5 points to the Niners. They did not look good last week against what many people saw as one of the worst teams in the league, in the Eagles. And they basically beat themselves. I mean, the Eagles showed some improvement, they showed some grit, but in the end, they really beat themselves. They had a chance to go down there and score some points and win the game, and then they gave it away by giving a simple freaking pass right to Alex Singleton for a pick 6 on the first play of the drive. So that sealed the deal. I'm thinking the Dolphins, they're going to score some points here.
They love hanging in games too.
They do love hanging in games. I am going to take the under though. I think the 49ers, I just don't think they have a good week this week, but never mind. Scratch the under. But I'm going to take the Dolphins plus an 8.5. I don't think they're losing by more than a touchdown if they do lose, but I can definitely see them pulling out the win. So I think the Dolphins plus 8.5 is a good bet here.
I like that 8.5 as well. I can't remember what the final score was last week against the Seahawks game, but for a majority of that game,
To the Dolphins?
yeah, for a majority of that game though, it was close.
Yeah.
Which shocked the hell out of me, and that's why I also really like that 8.5 here, especially playing against a 49ers team that is very, very unhealthy.
They are getting a bit healthier.
They're getting
back.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel's back. The only thing missing kind of right now is on the players that are going to come back.
The defensive side, they're not getting anyone back.
Kind of screwed, but I mean, they got Raheem Mostert and
is he back this week?
Coming back soon.
Good practice him.
Yeah, I don't think Mostert's getting in there.
Yeah.
They might get Jimmy G out there just because of the concern they have at quarterback. It's an ankle sprain. He doesn't really move much as it is, so
If he's not playing, I would definitely slap that spread.
even if he is, I'm gonna take the spread. That's why I went away from the under though, is because the offense is kind of shaping back into form, and I don't think they're going to completely get shut out by the Dolphins. And I do think the Dolphins are going to put up 27 points, maybe 24 points.
A little
Something like that.
Fitzmagic or something will happen here.
Hopefully. I don't know. I could also see. I mean, I took the Dolphins spread, but I could also see like Fitzpatrick struggling, and Tua finally be able to play next week. There was debate this week, seeing if Fitzpatrick was going to start or not.
He's going to make an appearance at some point this year.
Oh, he will.
Time's coming very shortly. I mean, Fitzpatrick's just been a prolific game manager this year. I mean, he has 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions right now, averaging about 249 passing yards per game. A bit sketchy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, cool. The Dolphins' defense is also pretty stout. I mean, compared to previous years, it's pretty stout.
Yeah.
Secondary is pretty solid. I like that.
Gaskins.
Gaskins is pretty solid as well. I can see George Kittle still dominating this game, but realistically, if it is Beathard playing or Mullins, I really don't have much faith in this 49ers offense as I usually do, especially against a defense like the Dolphins, who I think pretty underrated, honestly. I'm taking the Dolphins spread because I like the Dolphins offense and the way they've been working lately.
Is Jones still hurt?
Byron Jones? I don't think he's hurt now. He
I
was.
think I just read something today about him.
I think that dude's been a little bit underperforming now. I was expecting some lockdown shit to go on over there because that on paper that duo was fucking disgusting.
Oh yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe they take a step up this week.
Maybe. I hope not. I'm hoping Debo had himself a game. I had a little draft and stash for that guy.
Draft and stash. Yeah, I guess that's it for that game. Moving forward, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Cleveland Browns. The Colts are favored by 1.5 points. Xavier, you can take this one.
This is another game I kind of bounced around a bit with. I was leaning towards the Colts at first, but now I think I might go with the Browns money line. Right now it's at plus 104. They've been hot, scoring record-breaking numbers for their team the past 3 games with 30-plus points, and they're 3-1 for the first time since I don't even know when. Losing Nick Chubb is a bit of a struggle, but Kareem Hunt is no average backup running back. And those other running backs that they brought in were looking
Johnson was looking amazing.
His vision was absolutely insane.
People are comparing him to Alvin Kamara, which is a little bit of a reach, but
It looks like him though, the way he runs.
Yeah.
It is similar. It is. I can see it, but obviously that's such a stretch at this point. I mean, the man had 10 carries in the league, so.
and he was playing against the Cowboys too.
And this Colts defense is also one of the best in the league, especially stopping the run.
I picked up Johnson in both the leagues I'm in, so I'm hoping he can do some things for the next upcoming weeks while Chubb's out.
I personally went with the Browns money line. The spread obviously is practically a pick 'em, 1.5, but I like the odds of the money line for the Browns. Like X said, the offense been on fire lately. Even losing Nick Chubb, their offense was still pretty solid last week. Cam was talking before the episode. We were talking about the Browns and how Stefanski's kind of like pulled back the reins on, I guess, Mayfield particularly, kind of like the Kirk Cousins in Minnesota whole thing happening. He's not really having many attempts. He's just a game manager practically. He's not having much of an influence on the game. His hands aren't really in the pot, I guess you could say. The running game is really what takes this Browns team to the next level. The Colts defense is pretty stout, but I think Kareem Hunt's one of the best running backs in the league, and I think the Browns offense and just coaching wise, I think they finally put these pieces together, and I think the Browns are going to win this one and go, what, 4-1?
The Browns no longer Browning?
No, they're opposite. What's the
That's
opposite of
insane.
Brown? Brown? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I was just checking real quick to go the spread or the money line real quick, and the better bet here would probably be the money line in terms of odds. But it's really not a ton. It goes from plus 104 to minus 115. So it's sort of a throw up. But if you think they're gonna win, I mean, money line's the better bet, obviously. Like I was talking about earlier with them, Stefanski's he's been drawn away from Baker, and they're gonna continue to do that. But on the plays Baker does get involved in, he's got Odell out there who seems to be getting things going. So I don't really think that's going to stop completely. And even if he doesn't, Jarvis Landry still hasn't caught a touchdown yet, and he'll be fixing to try and fix that. I think the Browns money line here is a solid bet, but Colts are definitely a stout defense, so it's going to be a good game. It's going to be one of the better games.
How do you guys think the Colts do offensively this game?
It's a throw up. I mean,
I think they're gonna struggle.
On paper-wise, their
A
wide
lot.
receivers have a good matchup with that hurting secondary of the Cowboys. I mean, they just
they're-
let up
what wide
500 yard
receivers?
passing
What wide
yards.
receivers?
Denzel
Exactly.
Ward's been
T.Y. Hilton's done
crazy
absolutely
lately too.
nothing.
I mean, T.Y. Hilton looks like he's
been-
cooked.
Yeah, he's been getting overshadowed by
Deshaun Jackson
Pascal.
vibes out here. Cooked.
He was my sit of this week, the wide receiver position.
He probably shouldn't even be rostered.
Oh yeah, that's true. But
Unfortunately, I acquired him in a trade,
yeah,
and regretting
I
that decision
think-
that I got rid of Tyler Lockett in.
I think people see those, the sleeper, like they're ranked 29th in fantasy points per game, the wide receivers and whatnot, or some shit like that, and they're like, oh, I'm definitely starting him. But those things aren't really contextual, you know what I mean? Like, T.Y. Hilton's a deep ball kind of guy. Like that's how they've been using him this year, and that's where the Browns do struggle. So it makes sense, but Rivers hasn't really connected with him. Like Rivers doesn't really have that arm anymore. He hasn't really looked like
He
the
likes
same
that Riley
Rivers.
Cox.
He likes the underneath. He likes check down. He likes tight ends and whatnot.
Is
Zach
Cox on
Pascal.
he's on a 3-game scoring stretch, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's a monster. But yeah, for that reason, I guess T.Y. Hilton was the sit of the week. Did you said the Colts? Or you said Browns money line?
Mm-hmm.
All right, sweet. So
Browns money line all on the board.
sweet. All right, final 4 o'clock game. We got the Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 9.5 points. I went with the Giants spread. I'm the minority here. Yeah. The Cowboys defense is just very bad. Like you've seen it last week.
But their offense.
But that Giants offense is just as bad. If
Oh
not
yeah,
worse.
you're not wrong. But the 9.5, I feel like it's just too much.
I don't even know if the Giants will put up any points this game, dude.
I don't know about that.
I don't know, like,
That's a bit of a stretch, but still.
The Cowboys struggled at the beginning of the game last week. And then whenever the Browns got comfortable, they came. They had 13 points. At
Dak
like
Prescott
what?
threw
Third quarter?
500 yards last week.
They had 60 some pass attempts. He's not doing that this week.
They had 14 in the first half.
Yeah, that's. I
I
mean,
believe it might have been 13.
something like that.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I mean, I like the Cowboys as a team. I think they're pretty good, and I think they know what they're doing. But
Offensively, they're a fucking juggernaut if they can just balance it out with their defense.
I think it's
they would be a better
I
team.
think it's a bit of a facade, dude. I mean, they've shown that they really do struggle early in the games, and then they're down by a fuck ton of points, and then the defenses are lacking. I mean, obviously, anybody's going to go for 500 yards if you're down by 40. I
toss the
mean,
ball 60 sometimes too. I think they do.
yeah, so I mean,
Insane.
it might be a bit of a facade there because it seems to be empty stats. I mean, it's not resulting in wins. Obviously, they should be 0-4. The only case where their comeback did work out is the
They have a
Falcons,
goof.
who are there's something over there. I am going to take the Cowboys spread there -9.5. Just because it's the Giants. I think that Giants offense is going to make the Cowboys defense look okay and going to be making the Cowboys think they've gotten some improvement there. It's not going to come to fruition throughout the season because they have one of the worst defenses in the league. But that Giants offense is just as bad. Maybe Devontae Freeman comes in, has a decent game, and shows the Giants what they signed him for. I don't see it. Cowboys should cover pretty easily here.
You'd like to think.
The Giants have been cucking me, so whatever. I'm not too confident. Like the Cardinals bet, I'm hoping for the best. I'm preparing for the worst. Cowboys 9.5.
I'm going with that Cowboys 9.5 too. That Giants offense just. I mean, that was obviously a crazy statement to say that they're not going to put up any points. They probably will. The Cowboys just should put up a whole lot more points than the Giants, though, in this game. I mean, you'd like to see the Cowboys. Well, you guys wouldn't like to see them doing good, but as a team-wise, they should be doing a whole lot better than they are. But that defense is just really their biggest weakness.
I mean, I wouldn't have really cared before, but yeah, now that I see we got a chance to win the division with about 6 wins or something like that, yes, I would like to see them.
I mean, the Giants did also cuck me last week with that Rams spread, but don't think that will happen this week. You do, though.
I do.
But-
I mean, I took the Giants spread last week against the Rams as well. So I mean, I'm
12.5, man.
all in with Giants, bro.
Just got win by 10.
I don't see it happening. I just don't.
Like, who's going to even score for the Giants? Well, Darius
Slay's
Slay's
going to go fucking
gonna
crazy.
have like 5
Evan Ingram's going to
touchdowns.
go crazy. Daniel Jones going to go crazy.
Evan Ingram's just been absolutely irrelevant.
Who have they played?
Okay, but the Cowboys offense are not the Rams offense. They have a running back down there. He's going to be able to beat up that defensive line.
He's averaging like 12 carries a game. He's not really getting the workload that you would think he would be getting.
But I would assume that probably changes.
You would hope.
This week, game script hopefully will be in their position to ride Zeke a little bit. I mean, they might put in Tony Pollard, too, for a bit. I mean, he saw a little bit of work against the Browns.
Scored a touchdown.
He did indeed.
All right. Sunday Night Football on First Choice Fantasy. We have Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are touchdown favorites. Cameron, kick us off, man.
Seahawks money line -330. The odds aren't the best, but the Vikings offense is on the come up. They should not have been as bad as they were, and I think that continues. Dalvin Cook is eating out there, and a partner besides Adam Thielen is showing himself quite worthy in Justin Jefferson. So I want to go on the safer side here with the money line, just because I think Russell has been on a tear. Probably gets back to a little bit more than normal, throwing more than 2 touchdowns next week. This week, and I like the money line as the safest bet here for the Seahawks.
I pretty much agree with everything you said there. I like the money line. The Seahawks defense has been allowing a whole lot of points as well, so that's why I'm kind of sticking away from the spreads. This one could be close. This one should be a good game. This should be a fun game to watch. I like a big game from Adam Thielen as well. I have him in fantasy. You just acquired him.
You hope so.
Dalvin Cook should probably have another big game as well, but I could see also a huge game from all those Seahawks wide receivers. That Vikings defense is a little sketchy.
I would love a little Adam Thielen DK battle going out there. Touchdown for touchdown for touchdown. I want to see it.
The over could be something in this game.
What's it at though?
56 and a half.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think that might get better this week just because they're thinking over, and the NFL's a little bit funky. But it wouldn't be a terrible bet, obviously, with those offensive odds are going towards a very high scoring game.
But I like the Seahawks here. I like that money line.
Yeah, I do too. Don't have many words that weren't already said, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But yeah, Seahawks money line. Monday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are 8.5-point favorites. I'll just kick this one off because I didn't have much to say last time. The Saints, 8.5 is my pick. Michael Thomas might be back. He might just be back. And lately, running backs against the Chargers have actually done pretty well.
Have they?
They're averaging 4.7 yards per carry. I think that's pretty well.
Alvin Kamara's also
God damn
never
it.
average running back.
Exactly.
I only question that just because I'm really relying on Kamara not having a big game this week. I'm facing in both my main leagues, and scary.
Yeah, it's not good.
At least I get past it now.
Hopefully. So, Michael Thomas coming back. Alvin Kamara is probably going to put a big game. I mean, he always does. It's Alvin Kamara. And the defense, I think, should be able to maintain the Chargers' offense without Eckler. All they really got to do is focus on Keenan Allen, in all honesty. Those running backs, while they're not terrible, I mean,
Josh Kelly.
they're not Eckler. They're not
You'd
Eckler.
like to think that offense would focus on Keenan Allen, but didn't last week Herbert threw 3 touchdown passes to 3 receivers I had never even heard of before?
That's true.
Keenan Allen's been getting volume, though. Keenan Allen's
He has been.
He's a good grabber.
But Herbert's been spreading that ball.
Well, 3 different passes. I mean, that's not 19.
It was just the
passes.
touchdowns. I mean, it was 2 bombs.
Yeah.
I mean, Keenan
They were
Allen's
dimes,
distracted
though.
them.
Herbert's been looking a little nice.
He has been looking
I'm
nice.
not saying they pull out this upset here against the Saints. I like that Saints money line.
I said
This
the
could be a
Saints
close
is
game,
team.
though.
No, not me. I don't think so.
No, I don't think Herbert's going to continue to light everyone up like he is. At some point, defensive coaches are going to figure out something to slow him down. He's definitely not going to get through this whole season without some bumps in the road, and I think he hits one on Monday.
Losing Eckler is a big impact, too.
What's that?
Losing Eckler in that offense is a big
Yeah,
impact
100%.
as well.
They're not going to. Whatever. I mean, maybe Josh Kelly replaces them a little bit. I'm hoping so. I don't know. We'll see.
When did Eckler come out the last game against the Buccaneers? Like, what quarter? Was it early on?
I think it was kind of early on. I think it was like second quarter, maybe.
Was it after they had the lead? Like, the noticeable lead. Because I'm pretty sure they're up like 24-7 or some shit.
Yeah.
They were, yeah.
Well, it definitely was after. I mean, I think it was in the middle of the Bucks coming back, and they obviously slowed them down, getting up 40 points, and they ended up losing 31-24.
Brady threw like 5
Right.
touchdown passes.
31-24.
I think so, yeah. 7 points, yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Saints spread here, -8.5. The money line probably is pretty brutal. What's it at? Minus 360. Yeah, I mean if you want to include it in a nice money line parlay like X did,
I'm going there as well this week.
then definitely go for it because it's that safer bet and you can definitely cash out some coin if you involve it in a nice parlay. But for odds purposes and smaller parlays and a straight up bet, definitely go with the Saints money line. I don't think it'll be much of an issue. Drew Brees seems to have gotten back on track, and Michael Thomas, like you said, could possibly be back, and that'll be a big boost. If he comes back, the Saints spread is hitting so easily. It's not
100%.
It's not even a question. But if he doesn't come back, it might be a
He'll
little
hit the spread
closer.
himself.
But I think they still win by about 10.
I do.
Alright.
I dig it.
You already said the Saints? Oh, you
Yeah, I
did.
did.
Yeah, you did. All right. Word. I guess that.
You
I
wanna
guess
touch
we'll
on
talk.
the Broncos,
Yeah,
Patriots real
talk about
quick?
the Broncos Patriots. You talk.
Oh, I mean, it really depends on
It's
like
a
the
tough-
Patriots quarterback situation. I feel like.
I don't. I think that's already a guarantee, right? I mean, he's not playing, right?
If the game's happening and Cam Newton's not playing, who are they going? They
Don't
can't
do it
go
to
with Hoyer
yourself.
again
Don't do
because
it to
Hoyer
yourself.
looked like a fucking dumpster fire out there.
Stidham wasn't much better.
Sidon was not much better. That one pick six that he threw was not his fault at all.
And then
Julian Edelman should have caught
Stephon
that.
Gilmore's he's definitely not playing either way. So now they don't got
I mean,
somebody
the Broncos
out there
are playing.
to-
Who's their quarterback?
They're probably
Is
going
Ripien
with,
playing?
no, he stopped Ripien, didn't he? Or no, I'm thinking of the Jets. And,
Well, Ripien threw like 3 interceptions
oh,
against
yeah,
the Jets.
He was
looked
looking
shit.
real good.
And then
he
the second
turned
half,
to shit.
Totally different story.
Completely ruined his game because he was looking
Yeah.
great out there, and then he almost cost him the game.
It was the running game was really what then kept them in that. Or
So
took them
really,
to
I mean, it just looks like he needs to fix up little things. Play calling, knowing the defensive schemes out there, but Bill Belichick's not the guy.
He's not going to lose to Brett Ripien.
He's not the guy to rely on figuring out the defense. He's going to throw many things out there at him, and
I still think
definitely get
Patriots
those
win
wide
this.
receivers. Hopefully, Judy can start implementing himself as more of a focal point in that offense. But only 2 catches last week, so we'll see. It's a tough one. If Cam Newton plays, Patriots definitely, no doubt. If he doesn't play, I would say the Broncos pull it out, just because of the state of that offense.
I just think the state of the Broncos defense is utter shit, and I think the Patriots are gonna get my proposal. I'm gonna go with the Patriots regardless of what happens, if it's Hoyer starting or if it's somebody else starting. Fucking Jets ate the Broncos' ass last week.
Oh yeah, did they?
Yeah, they did.
For a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah.
I'm good. Sam Darnold was looking like Lamar Darnold out there.
Exactly.
Lamar Darnold.
And we can't forget the fact, I mean, obviously Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham aren't Cam Newton, but I mean, the Chiefs' defense also isn't the Broncos' defense. I mean, the Chiefs stopped Lamar Jackson in the air. Let's be real about that. And I mean, I don't know. I believe in the Patriots' coaching, don't believe in Broncos' defense, and I think that's the recipe for a win.
I mean, the only thing that you can take away in terms of confidence in this game is the Patriots coaching staff. So, very valid.
That's it.
Bills Titans. The Bills would have won.
Bills would have won.
Bills are still winning. From the
Titans
right
are a
side
bunch
to the
of-
money
They're
line.
still gonna win.
Fuckheads. And they
Anyways,
just can't stay healthy
Yeah.
or can't follow rules or whatever the heck they're doing over
whatever the
there.
fuck it is, there's no way they had all these cases during that game. Versus what was the last game they played? Versus
Titans,
who?
Vikings.
The Vikings. And the
The
Vikings,
Vikings didn't get any
Vikings
cases
had
either.
no cases.
Yeah.
I mean, that is such an implication that
The
the
Titans are
Titans
not
are some
doing
fuckheads.
anything
They were
correctly.
doing something. They did
I mean,
something.
there's even now talk that this game might even be forfeited, which is, I think, absolutely
Well, if
insane.
they did something, then it'll definitely be forfeited because it's not right.
I think they could be fined a
Please.
big bunch of money for that as well.
It might be more so draft pick compensation and then that forfeit of the game, or just the forfeit and a fine. Something. I don't think they would make them lose and take away draft picks.
Having a game forfeited this year would just add to the even more spookiness of the season already.
The year as a whole. 2020.
2020, what a wonky year.
All right, that writes us off here for Week 5 betting. Like, comment, share, subscribe. comment, I guess, anything, really. Do anything. Subscribe, tell your friends, subscribe. Love us, we love you. First Choice Fantasy, deuces.